It's phallic shaped. I get it.
Phallic shaped.
Why did I know that that's what you were gonna say?
Chode.
Condom.
Exactly.
It's
Always
a very
safe.
condom.
Ugh.
Could you imagine if this is what it was like every time?
What's that song? Must go, man.
What?
You know the one from the Dance Revolutions?
Rasputin?
Rasputin.
Well, hello everyone on the podcast. I'm your host Manda, and we are joined by Kev.
Hi.
Hey,
Hey.
thanks for making the time, bud.
Thanks, bud.
What are you doing?
I don't know what to do with my hands.
You're so annoying. You planned that. Like, you're not original.
I know.
Okay.
What movie?
Anchorman.
No.
And any Ryan Reynolds movie.
No. I don't know. We raced really well. The car was fast. Very fast car.
I don't know.
Talladega Nights?
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
That's what I gotta deal with here.
So, we get asked constantly, well, I get asked constantly online, this is going on YouTube, so you can't act like a moron. Is it gonna distract you too much to see yourself?
No.
Do I need to like cover up the screen so that you don't get distracted? I know you have a disease.
It's fine.
But like...
Disorder.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a disorder.
All right.
All right, so where are we going? What are we doing?
Anyways, okay, so on my platform online, people are constantly asking me about you and our relationship, and they are always saying that we just have like a goals marriage. That's my reaction too. I think we have a great marriage.
Oh, it's fantastic.
We have a pretty darn good
it's one
marriage.
of the best marriages I've ever had, so.
Anyways, but it kind of always like strikes a nerve with me when people say that we have a goals marriage, because I don't think people understand what all we've been through. And in the theme of this podcast, like obviously not everything's sunshine and rainbows. Our marriage has not been all sunshine and rainbows. And so I kind of wanted to interview you,
Okay.
my love,
Okay.
and just have my audience have the chance to get to know you a little bit better. And I guess most of the questions that they sent in pretty much has the theme of how do you put up with me,
Oh.
which I was slightly offended by.
Well,
But
that's a great question.
It's funny because
Very
I feel
likely.
like I put up with you more than you put up with me.
I think the jury's still out on that one.
Okay, well, all right. So I am going to give you the opportunity to give us a background on Kevin. So, how did you get to where you are? How did you get to where you are being married to me? All that stuff. Take it away.
Take it away.
My dear.
All right. That's a long story. I don't like talking about myself, so this is weird.
It is funny.
I don't like it.
Normally you let me do all the talking in the
Absolutely,
relationship.
it's much easier. And then, except for when you're wrong, then I chime in.
I'm never wrong.
Always wrong. I'm not a native Floridian. I am from Northern Virginia. So I was born and raised up there, and I had my stint at the firehouse, rescue squad through high school and college, and went to college and studied biochemistry. Yay, science.
Science.
And then, we met toward the end of my college career and toward the beginning of your college career.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
You were a senior and I was a freshman.
I was a super senior. I had superpowers. It's the only super I've ever had.
Did that 5th year lap.
Oh, so great. But yeah, and outside of college, then a big life change. I wanted to go to medical school. I was set up for medical school, and things happened, meaning I met you, and I decided I didn't want to spend 10 years of my life in school.
Whoa!
I didn't want to spend 10 years of my life in school.
You can't blame that on me.
I didn't. I just used you as an excuse.
No,
it's true.
There was a different member of the female
We're not
gender
talking about that.
who ruined your chances at medical school.
No, she didn't ruin them.
You can't blame that on me.
I didn't. I said I didn't want to spend 10 years of my life in school when I met you.
I'll accept that.
Okay, exactly. So I had to figure out what I was going to do next. I did some sales. Horrible. I can't sell crap.
Because you hate talking.
No, I hate lying. If you're a salesperson, I'm sorry. But I've been there. And so then I found a job in Florida that was IT consultant. I couldn't fix my router. I couldn't restart my computer and couldn't do anything. And I had a 12-pack Red Bull, learned a lot of stuff in one night and passed the test. So moved on to Florida and I did 3 or so years of that company and found that I really liked IT work. And so I went back to school, got my master's in IT. And then got hired with a great company and work in healthcare IT and love every second of it. And then through all of the twists and turns, we've hopped around different cities in Florida, and now we're settled sometime, on the west coast of Florida. Yeah, west coast of Florida. And so that's kind of where I am here. Did that kind of hit the
I
nail on
like
the
it.
head? Yeah.
It was a very Kev way of explaining your life.
Yeah.
Just to the point.
Exactly.
No nonsense.
No nonsense. Can this meeting be handled in an email?
Probably, honestly. You kill me. By the way, our drink tonight is mojitos.
Mai Tai.
It's not a Mai Tai.
Mai Tai.
It's a mojito. We made mojitos. So if you hear us slurping on those, he's chewing ice. That's what that is. Okay, so one of the number one questions that people sent in for you is, how did you navigate Amanda balancing her animal training career and your marriage? That's your favorite topic.
Patience.
Okay. Why don't you unpack that a little bit? So for anyone who doesn't know, in the animal training field, there is a lot of moments of being on call, being an essential worker, having to make decisions for your animals, canceling plans. In my case, I drove 2 hours one way for some jobs. So there's a lot of extra things. It wasn't just a normal job. In addition to not getting paid very much, working in sometimes really taxing and mentally toxic work environments, toxic physical environments as well too. So tell us, Kev, how you made it through 5 years of me doing that.
A lot of patience.
Okay.
So I would have to say that I learned a lot of this from myself growing up and then from my parents. I was a very outspoken child. I knew exactly what I wanted and what I was not going to do. And I was never wrong. I was so wrong all the time. I was going to be an astronaut. Hell or high water, I was going to be an astronaut.
There's still time.
Still time. He's not an astronaut. I was going to be a doctor. I was going to do all of these things. I'm not saying that I wouldn't. I also very assertively told my father I would never work behind a desk because it is a waste of your life. He doesn't hold back reminding me that all the time. So
pour one out for Dawn.
Pour one out for Dawn. But really, with all of that, and then my time at the firehouse, I love to work holidays.
Yeah.
You got the best calls on holidays. Car wrecks, stabbings. People love to stab each other on Thanksgiving. We ran all the stabbings on Thanksgiving.
It makes sense.
Cardiac arrests. So we got all the good calls on the holidays, and I would purposely choose to go to the firehouse and not be with family. And my parents gave me nothing but grace. I also loved running on Sundays, so I didn't have to go to church. So I would work on Sundays specifically to not have to get out of church. And that was, my parents knew, and they gave me a ton of grace.
And that's hard too, because while you're not going to church, it's not like you're not doing something worthwhile.
Oh, I know. And I totally use that to my advantage. I use that so well. But my parents showed me grace, and they enjoyed every minute that they got with me, and they would move their schedule around we would do Christmas either before Christmas or after Christmas. We would do Thanksgiving before or after. And I learned a lot of that from them. It's just that, you're a very outspoken, bold individual, and no one has anything figured out in this life. And while you see that you are absolutely going to do something now, you never know what the future is going to hold. So, patience and grace.
Yeah. Were You're making it sound like you were just handled it so perfectly the entire time, though.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Well, okay, so patience and grace. So I'm not a...
You don't like confrontation.
No, I love confrontation.
Not when it comes to us, though.
No, I'm very intelligent with my confrontation.
Unpack that, my love.
Okay, so there's a great, when we first got married, you called your dad for some things. Like, hey, how do I do this or how do I do that? And I was like, I'm your husband. It's my job.
Yeah.
And it frustrated me that you would call your father. And I was like, hey, this frustrates me. And you're like, it's fine. It's just my dad. It's easy for him. So then what I started to do is I started to call my mom for dumb stuff right in front of you. And you learned how horrible that felt. Slightly manipulative. It was kind of an exercise, and we got past that.
It is funny with us both having psych backgrounds. We definitely use our psychology degrees on each other for sure.
Yes.
But as far, like in our marriage, when we were first starting out, I hadn't quite gotten the animal training job. Mm-hmm. So there was the internships and working the lifeguard position, the education position. And how did you feel when I would come home crying, making minimum wage, part-time, and telling you like, I'm gonna make it.
I was just excited you were making money. In all honesty, during that stage of our life, I was just excited that you had money coming in.
That's fair. Was there ever a moment where you were like, Amanda, you're not actually gonna do that? Just like, did you think animal training for me was like being an astronaut for you?
No, because I could be an astronaut if I wanted to.
And now you know why we work so well. The confidence.
Well, I mean, it's just having, it is a confidence, right? But you make other choices in life that you either go one way or the other way, and being an astronaut is not something that's in the books for us. I know you're going to say go be an astronaut, but no, it's not in the books for us, so leave it at that. But no, I always supported you with whatever you did because you were so confident and you were so sure.
Yeah.
And who was I to tell you that that's not what makes you happy?
Yeah. Remember that one time I had one of many midlife crises and applied to a job in Dubai, and applied to a job in Hawaii. And then
we flew out to an internship or to an interview in California.
We did, like 3 weeks after getting married.
Yeah, when we couldn't afford it.
We couldn't afford a plane ticket, but
I used all the miles I saved up for like the 3 years to fly to San Francisco.
And I distinctly remember this one moment where you were like, honey, we live in Florida. We can't move to California. And I'm pretty sure I said, I didn't say we.
Yeah, you did. You did.
And that was how it was in my mind. And I think for me, it was so hard to transition from living and thinking about just Amanda to then thinking about Amanda and Kev as a unit and finding where you fit into that relationship and into that dream and career, because it's hard to have another person to think about than yourself when you're working in one of those like essential type careers.
Yeah, but during that time, it was also like, it wasn't just a 9 to 5 for me. So like I was working 60-hour weeks, and then I was in grad school. So then I was 25 hours on top of that. So I was like, you do whatever you want to do, boo. I got to study. I've got all these clients I have to work for. So I was really busy, and you were driven. And then I was clawing us out of a 1-bedroom apartment as best as I could. So
then we moved, and I got an atypical animal training job where that's when I started shift work. So then my schedule became what your schedule was when we were dating, where you were like on and off and working night shifts. And so how is that? Because typically when we were dating, that was your dynamic. Like you were the one on call at the firehouse and working overnights and things like that. And I would have to be like, oh, he's not answering my text. He's probably on the fire truck right now, or running a fire or something like that. So how was that transition for you?
First off, I would like to say we're probably having water fights in the bay. Honestly, like we most likely were not running a fire at that point.
Okay, well, my brain was like, my boyfriend's a hero.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure we're just chasing someone around with a water can. Yeah, try to win that water fight. What a life. It was difficult. It was very lonely.
Yeah.
But I also like learned how to, I don't know, kind of ignore it. It's not healthy, right? But it's not like not unhealthy, right? It's just like, okay, This is just...
I put all my feelings in a box and then threw away the key and dropped it in the Marianas Trench.
Oh, yeah, that works too. But it's like, okay, what's the problem right now? Yeah, like, you're busy, I'm busy, but like, it's never going to be perfect. So let's make the most of what we can and do what works. And you were so happy with what you were doing. It seemed like you were very happy with what you were doing. It seemed, we learned. But it was a stepping stone for what you ultimately wanted. And I knew it was just a sacrifice that it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's true. During that point when I was working those overnight shifts, we pretty much operated as roommates.
We did, 100%.
That's like the year in our marriage where I'm like, we weren't really husband and wife. We were roommates because there was a moment in time I would come home from work and high five him as he was leaving for work.
You mean like 9 months?
I said a period of time.
You said a moment.
A moment.
A moment.
It's a blip on the radar now. We've been married 6 years, so that is a blip in our radar. But yeah, there was a period of time, like 9 months, where we would quite literally high five. I would come home from work, open the garage, and he would be walking out on his way to start the day, and I would be going to sleep for the night. That was my night.
Yep.
And we would only see each other on the weekend, and that was only because I chose to sacrifice my sleep and change my sleep schedule for the weekend so that I could
We'd have one day together.
you.
Yeah. Because you had, Tuesdays and Saturdays off or something like that?
Something crazy. Yeah.
Well, it was, it was definitely very difficult. Very, definitely hard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then, you know, we made it through the animal training career.
Oh, no, there's still 3 jobs. 1, 2, 3 jobs after that one. So, not yet, but you get the gist.
You get the gist,
all right? You know what? It repeats itself, regardless of...
Well, and I think that's a very valuable point to bring up, is that it became a cycle.
Yep. The grass is always greener.
Yes, and that's one thing that I had to personally learn, is that I kept searching for the next big thing, and that's a very fatal flaw in my personality when it comes to the things I want for my career, not the people in my life.
That was frustrating for me, though.
Yeah,
watching you make the same mistake over and over and over again and biting my tongue.
And you did.
Until the last time.
And
then I said, no.
Yes, so as we have heard in episodes before this one, I went through some pretty big identity issues and grappled with the idea of leaving the animal training field, something that I was set on doing my entire life, something that I accomplished, kept accomplishing, kept clawing for, kept fighting for, even when certain situations happened that destroyed that dream. And it got to this point where I started sharing my life online on the internet. And that brings us to our next question that people are asking is, how did you feel about me leaving something that I had both of us sacrifice so much for to achieve, and then decide I was going to do something completely different? Oh,
I loved it.
Really?
Yes. Because I didn't sacrifice anything for a job. I sacrificed it for you.
Yeah.
So it's not that, oh, well, darn it, she didn't get the job, or she's not in the same field. I sacrificed all this time and energy and effort. No, it was all part of that growing. I wanted you to be happy. And I saw from a husband's perspective how toxic and, oh man, God, a real HR department would just tear everybody a new butthole. Sorry, booty hole, whatever you want to call it, right? When you work for...
From your perspective. We don't want to get in trouble again.
From my perspective.
From your perspective.
My perspective. Yeah. So cute. So cute. But I love the fact that because you did have so much of your identity in what you saw yourself and your sense of worth with what you did.
Yeah.
From I have a title of this perspective. Like, I did this, I do this. This is who I am.
Which I think you really relate to when you were a fireman.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I was. That was like, I'm a fireman. I'm invincible. I won't die.
And then this little pink-haired girl came along. I was blonde then, but... And then your whole identity changed, and you chose to make that pivot, and you chose
That's right.
Walk away and literally leave everything that you knew and were achieving for, because for some reason you thought I was worth it. And so personally, I think I only made it through that shift because I knew that you had done it and you modeled it for me, and you did it so gracefully.
Poise and grace. This is Miss United States.
You are. You
Thank
really
you.
are. But I think that was awesome to have you there encouraging me. And even once I made that final decision and like accepted my consulting job moving forward, Kevin never gave his opinion on what he thought I should do. And that is the most magnificent thing, I think, about Kevin, is that through everything that I've done and through all of the toxicity and mental health struggles and like physical and emotional stuff that I've gone through with my career path and journey, he never once gave his opinion on what he thought I should do.
Yeah, okay. You've asked for it a lot of times.
I asked for it all the time, and I was like, do you think I'm making the right decision? Do you think? And you're like, honey, you know what's best, and I trust you that you're gonna make the best
Does
decision.
it matter what I think?
No, honestly, no.
Yeah,
Most of the
that's
time.
what I would say. Does it matter what I think?
But with this last decision, I just remember kept asking you, like, is this what you want me to do? Is this what you think I should do? And you were like, honey, you're going to make what feels right. You're going to make the decision that feels right. I know you've been praying about it. I know you've been thinking about it. Like, you're going to make that decision. And then when I finally made it, I was like, okay, you can be real. Are you really happy? And you're like, yeah, thank God.
I know, I was very happy.
Finally.
Well, I mean, it's like when you have the I mean, it's not the luxuries of a 9-to-5, but you have the culture of like a 9-to-5 job, right? You get to enjoy weekends. Like, we actually never had weekends together until you started this.
Yeah.
So we didn't really know what to do, or like
even just nights together.
Yeah, normally it's like I do my own thing. I learned how to cope with my Xbox and
Well, and something that I remember towards the end, which is when I knew, okay, I really need to make a change if I want to enjoy the supposed best years of my life. Like, I'm almost 30. And you said to me, you're like, sometimes it's hard for me to know what version of Amanda's gonna walk through the door.
oh yeah.
Because in the nature of the job, it was so hard for me to separate the things I was experiencing and the hard things I was going through at work and not bring it home. Because I am such an empathetic person that I would want to talk to you about it, and I would want you to feel what I was feeling, because then that would help take some of the burden off for me and the pain that I was going through. But you were like, I understand, but again, that cycle, why are you still allowing it?
It's my job to solve problems. She has
Yeah.
no problems. So I had to learn to say, are we complaining? Sorry, that's not a bad. Can I say, are we bitching today, or are we are we trying to solve problems?
Yeah, you would be like, are we venting? Like, do you need me to be a girlfriend, or can I be analytical Kevin? And do I need to fix your problems?
Yeah. Do you want my 12-step plan? Right? Like, what do we do? Yeah.
So that being said, transitioning then from animal training to being an influencer online, what do you think about that, babe?
Whatever makes you happy. I think it's great. You have a huge creative side. You really like being your own manager. You're very self-managed. And you like to, what? Oh, I need to go close to the mic. Sorry. You're very creative, and you have very bold ideas, and you love to just dabble wherever you dabble.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives you the opportunity to explore all of those options in your own creative way, which in turn makes you more happy, and thus me more happy.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Is it true? Happy wife, happy life. Honestly,
I want to
think
say
it's happy
yes.
partner, because it's not one-sided.
I was gonna say, I was
Like, I actively want to make your life happy too.
oh,
Yeah.
thanks. Oh,
Yeah, I think about more than just myself now, because I have the energy to think about more than survival mode.
yeah,
I honestly feel like for the past 5 years of my life, I was just in survival mode.
you were.
Which, when we first started our marriage, you were in survival mode because you were literally trying to keep us as humans.
We couldn't eat chili
afloat.
every day.
And then I came home with 2 puppies, and you're like, we can't feed these mouths.
We don't have enough chili to go around.
Okay, so the last question that people submitted was, how do you feel about Amanda sharing both of your lives so publicly online?
I'd like to emphasize the so, because it's really not. We have very strict guidelines and rules. I'm sure everyone thinks I'm a bum that plays Xbox and sings Greatest Showman all day long.
Well,
and
because that's all they see
Exactly.
on stories.
Exactly. So we have very strict rules about what we're allowed to share and what we're not allowed to share.
Yeah.
And
mostly because you work in the cyber world, and
Yes.
so you're aware of like what part of your identity can get stolen, and like
phishing,
and even so, like your job, like it matters how you're portrayed with your job, and there's the chance that like with your company, certain things, like yeah, I'm very bold about my opinions, but that doesn't mean that you have to be.
Exactly right. Yep. So we have a very good understanding. It frustrates you sometimes, like that one TikTok where it's like, oh, it's the color challenge, and look at us soulmates with me putting my birthday in here and your birthday there. I was like, yeah, no, we're gonna take that down.
It was getting so many views. I had this really cute TikTok up, and he was like, yeah, you have to take that down.
So that's a non-starter.
Do you feel like you are accurately portrayed on my platform?
I think so.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I mean, you are a big goofball.
I am a huge goofball.
I mean, that's my favorite. One of my favorite things about you is that you're consistently make me pee my pants laughing all the time.
My goofball island is lit up.
You had to quote Disney.
Disney Pixar.
You.
Yeah. But yeah, it's there's not a lot of our life is shared publicly, and it's not that we're hiding or that you're hiding things. But there is information that we make sure to obscure.
Yeah. And I think I learned too, there was a time where I was very active on my stories, and I like literally recorded everything I did that day. And when I went to work the next day, people were like, oh, what'd you do over the weekend? And I said something, they're like, oh yeah, we saw. Oh yeah, we saw on your stories. Yeah, we saw. And I was like, okay, well. And so then I learned personally, like, okay, I don't want to share everything. I want to keep the bounds of our marriage, part of it just be us and not 13,000 people involved in our marriage.
Yeah.
I mean, don't worry, people have their opinions, and they definitely give them.
I love opinions.
On our life and our relationship, but
I don't care.
You don't. That's the thing. You don't give two shoots.
I don't give a fuck. Can I say that?
I'm gonna edit it out.
What are you gonna edit it out with? I don't give a fire truck. I don't give a fire truck.
Well, thank you for coming on to the podcast.
You're welcome.
Is there anything that you would like to say that you feel like we didn't cover? Anything that you want to talk about?
I mean, there's a lot to talk about, but whatever questions.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything to your fans?
I don't have any fans.
You have lots of fans, actually. People love Kev.
Oh, well, let's go drink around the world. Ep10. 2021.
Oh my god.
Let's do it. We could start a revolution.
We already did start a revolution.
No, but like, let's just have a group of like 100 people that just go drink around the world at Disney. We get matching t-shirts. Oh, you're not, I'm about this.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh, I love this.
Okay, wow.
With matching hats too. It's like, was it Dunder Mifflin does Gettysburg? Those pink hats, trucker hats. No one? Not a soul? We're gonna make this happen.
On that note, thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate you willingly participating.
I got sushi before this.
You did. We went to sushi, we got Crumbles cookies, and I made you a mojito. So.
Yeah, Mai Tai.
Thanks, babe.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you.
Hasta luego. Is that right?
Actually, yeah. Kind of.
Hasta la vista, baby.
All right, on that note.
See ya. Do I get a coloring book?
No, you're gonna be talking.
Oh, I know, but I gotta occupy the mind, you know.
I'm gonna be asking questions to you the whole time. I love my husband. All right. Oh, are you kidding me? I hope you choke.
I almost did.
On your saliva.
Sorry, kids.
Do you need something to drink?